calling all solo game developers and small teams. We had a great community response to our video featuring GameMaker Studio games made by solos and small teams. We've decided to continue with the series and focus on different engines for each video. Today, we'll be looking at one of the most used game engines in the world, Unity. Unity is one of the best engines in our opinion because of its versatility. Want to make a 2D game? Check. 3D? Check. Android, iOS, PC, Linux, Mac, PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch? Checks all around. And we've only named a few. Unity has been used to make big games like Hearthstone, Super Bomberman R, and Pokemon Go, so it might seem like a tool designed for large corporate developers at first glance. If you start going through the list of games made with Unity though, you'll see a lot of hits coming from solo developers and small teams. In today's video, we'll be showcasing some of these great games made by independent teams, and we'll also talk about the developers creating them. These games are a testament to what small teams can pull off with Unity, and we find their stories just so inspiring. We are Ask Gamedev, aka Chance the Random Number Generator, aka AG10S Max, aka the Hall & Oates of Ints and Floats, and these are 8 hit indie games made using Unity. Welcome back. If you're new to Ask Gamedev, we make videos to help you learn about the games industry so that you can elevate your games and inspire others. If you're on a game dev journey, consider subscribing. We'd love to help you along the way. 1. Hollow Knight by Team Cherry. Hollow Knight is a hand-drawn, atmospheric Metroidvania game that takes place in an insect kingdom. Playing the game, the first thing you'll notice is the amazing character design. The game is filled with wonderfully imaginative characters that breathe life into its world. Aside from being a first-class platforming experience, the artwork in the game is extraordinarily beautiful. Any frame from the game would look great as art on a wall. Hollow Knight was created by a team of 3 people that initially formed around a game jam. With the concept of Hollow Knight in hand, they launched a Kickstarter in November 2014, raised $57,138 Australian dollars, and the rest is history. Hollow Knight is available on PC, Mac, Linux, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Steam Spy estimates that the game has 1,040,000 owners on Steam alone. 2. Snipper Clips by SFB Games. Snipper Clips is a game where you and a friend snip each other's characters into different shapes in order to solve puzzles. It was a launch title for Nintendo Switch, and with its simple controls and pick-up-and-play game design, it was the perfect example of showing how much fun you could have with a friend using the Switch hardware in local co-op. The original concept of the game was designed by 2 brothers, Adam and Tom Vian, in just 8 hours during a one-day game jam. Once they discovered what they had made had real potential, they decided to start pitching it to publishers. The game's aesthetic was a perfect fit for Nintendo, and soon enough they signed a deal with the Big N. Snipper Clips is a Nintendo Switch exclusive and did extremely well on the eShop. In the month after it launched, Nintendo reported that Snipper Clips had over 350,000 digital downloads. 3. Altos Adventure by Snowman. Altos Adventure is a 2D, endless snowboarding game available on iOS and Android. Now, there are a lot of side-scrolling endless runners on mobile, but none are as beautiful to look at and as elegantly designed and polished as Altos Adventure. It's a game that's an inspiring example of what you can achieve when you take a common concept and massively elevate the visuals. The game was made by a team of 3. The founders of Snowman, an indie studio, and an artist-developer, Harry Nesbitt. Harry had little game development experience at the time, but learned Unity over the course of the game's development. The team took 2 years to build the game, carefully crafting every detail. When the title launched in 2015, it reached number 1 in the App Store's top paid charts worldwide. The game has since won numerous awards, dominated on other platforms, and even spawned a line of merchandise. The sequel, Altos Odyssey, launched in 2018 and won an Apple Design Award. 4. Night in the Woods by Infinite Fall. Night in the Woods is an atmospheric adventure game where you play as May, a college dropout that returns back to her hometown to resume her life and reconnect with her old friends. Don't let the storybook-perfect character design fool you. The game is an amazing experience, but can also get heavy and maybe even a little dark. Oh, and there's something in the woods. The game was created by a team of 3, designer Scott Benson, programmer-musician Alec Haloka, and writer Bethany Hockenberry. The team announced their game on Kickstarter and hit their goal in just over a day. In total, they raised more than $200,000 on Kickstarter. The game has done tremendously well since launch, culminating in a BAFTA award in 2018. Night in the Woods is available on PC, Mac, Linux, Xbox One, PS4, iOS, Android, and of course, Nintendo Switch. Steam Spy estimates that as of today, the title has 175,000 owners on Steam. 5. Overcooked by Ghost Town Games. Overcooked is a co-op, local multiplayer game where you and your friends run a kitchen. You work together cooking food, keeping the kitchen clean, and fulfilling orders in kitchens that get increasingly crazier and crazier, ranging from kitchens built across 2 food trucks rolling down the highway to kitchens in space. Overcooked is a unique game on this list because it manages to be the most fun, but also the most stressful at the same time. The game was developed by the duo of Ghost Town Games, that is Phil Duncan and Ollie Devine. The concept was partly inspired by Phil Duncan's past experience working in a kitchen, where things like teamwork, shouting, working against a clock, and maintaining quality were all part of the day-to-day routine. And if you've played Overcooked, you know that all of this translated well into the game. The game is available on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch, and is a must-have if you're throwing a game night at home with some friends and family. Steam Spy estimates that the game has 665,000 owners as of today. The sequel, Overcooked 2, launched earlier this year and is just as much fun as the first. 6. Pony Island by Daniel Mullins Games. What can we say about the 2016 story of the year, Pony Island? Well, for one thing, it's not about ponies. In Pony Island, you are trapped inside a possessed arcade machine and must solve your way out. It's one of the most smart, suspenseful, and satisfying puzzle games that you can find on Steam. The game was developed by solo studio Daniel Mullins Games. In 2014, Daniel launched a Kickstarter campaign for a game called Catch Monsters, and it did not reach its funding goal. Rather than let that stop him, Daniel continued his game dev journey, eventually landing on the concept for Pony Island during a game jam. Pony Island was released in 2016 and was immediately the talk of the town. IGN gave it a 9 out of 10, and Rock Paper Shotgun called it the smartest game of 2016. The game is currently rated overwhelmingly positive on Steam, with over 7,000 positive reviews. Pony Island is available for PC, Mac, and Linux. Steam Spy estimates that the title has 433,000 owners on Steam as of today. We're eager to try out Daniel Mullins' upcoming game, The Hex. 7. Bendy and the Ink Machine by Kindly Beast. Bendy and the Ink Machine is a free-to-play, episodic, first-person puzzle action horror game. The game takes place in the 60s and you play as Henry, a retired animator who returns to his former cartoon studio and discovers something sinister. The characters in the game are inspired by the cartoons of the 20s and 30s, like Betty Boop and early Mickey Mouse. The first chapter is free, while additional chapters can be purchased via DLC. Bendy and the Ink Machine was created by Mike Mood, the Puppet, the Meatly, and developed with a small team. Since launch, the game has become a cultural phenomenon, as Bendy and the Ink Machine merchandise like Funko Pops, action figures, and plushes can be found on toy shelves around the world. The game is available on PC, Mac, Linux, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Steam Spy estimates that the base chapter has 856,000 owners on Steam. The latest chapter for Bendy and the Ink Machine will be available later this month. Before we can get to the final game on the list, let's look at some honorable mentions. Ooblets by Glumberland. Only an honorable mention because it's not out yet. Ooblets has been dubbed Stardew Valley meets Pokemon. We can't wait to play it when it releases. Florence by Mountains. Florence is a short but sweet experience by game designer Ken Wong of Monument Valley fame. And Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy by Bennett Foddy, a game where you get over it with Bennett Foddy. And finally, our favorite game on the list, number 8, Cuphead by Studio MDHR. Cuphead is a tough-as-nails run-and-gun platformer that focuses on big boss battles. The art is inspired by rubber hose cartoons like the works of the 1930s Fleischer and Disney Studios. And just like those studios, the art in Cuphead was made using traditional techniques, including completely hand-drawn cell animation. Every frame of the game is outstanding on a technical level, whimsical, and such a treat to look at. We feel lucky just to be able to play and experience a game like this. Cuphead was created by Studio MDHR, a duo of brothers, Chad and Jared Moldenhauer, who had been wanting to make a game since they were kids. They came up with Cuphead in 2013, and by 2014, Cuphead was featured in Microsoft's E3 press conference. As the years went by, the team grew, but the game also hit delay after delay, eventually pushing the project to 5 years in development. It was worth it in the end though, as the title sold 1 million units in its first 2 weeks. Polygon has an excellent illustrated history of the development of Cuphead. We'll post a link in the comments. Cuphead is available on PC and Xbox One. The game was released in September 2017, and less than a year later, in August 2018, the studio announced that Cuphead had sold over 3 million copies. A DLC pack has been announced for 2019, and we can't wait. And there you have it, 11 games made using Unity, including a few made with just a solo developer. Next time you think your team is too small or that the tools you need are out of reach, just take a look at this list and get back to writing your freshly authored game code. If you like this list, check out this other list we did on 8 games made with GameMaker. Click the card above to watch it. And speaking of games made with GameMaker, check out our Ask Gamedev community member Game of the Week, Tiny Dino by Sterling Thorne. If you grew up with a Tamagotchi, you'll love Tiny Dino. It's available now on itch.io. We'll have a link to it in the description. Thanks for watching. We are Ask Gamedev, and we make game development videos on how to elevate your games and inspire others. What are some of your favorite games made using Unity? Let us know in the comments. We publish new content every week, so consider subscribing and hit the bell below to be notified as soon as a new video is available. If you'd like to chat about this video amongst your fellow subscribers, join us on Discord. Check out the description below for an invite link.